Hello there and welcome to Vermin Hunters TV with me, Si Pittaway. Today on the show it's going to be a bit of a mixed episode, and this is partly due to some of our subscribers on the channel asking and sending messages to us to see if we could do some more indoor range shooting with the Sandalfield Sports spring rifle, because I know a lot of you have got spring piston rifles, and give some layman's terms to the marksmanship principles, make them a little bit more easy to understand, and also if possible give some tips to gain accurate shooting other than using the marksmanship principles, or I should say as well as using the marksmanship principles. So we're going to try and do that. Also at a later date I'm going to edit some vermin control shooting in to this episode, so it should be a nice sort of like combined target shooting and vermin control episode. Right, over the weekend me and Davey went to see Tony Wall at Sandalfield Sports. And Tony's fitted a nice new leather sling now to my rifle, as you can see, which will make it a lot easier to carry when I'm not shooting it. And he also cleaned the rifle for me and pulled the barrel through. Now I'm going to have to re-lead this up now, probably by putting around about another 30 to 40 pellets through the barrel to re-lead it. Now we hear this phrase a lot, leading up the barrel, but what does it actually mean in layman's terms? Well, in layman's terms, if you was to look through this barrel, and it doesn't matter how clean you think it is, actually in it there's like little trenches and little divots, and these are micro divots, what you can only really see if you're looking through, let's say with an electron microscope or some really powerful magnification tool. So what actually happens is you're firing lead through the barrel to re-lead it, lead on the outer skirts of the pellet itself is wearing off due to friction as it's shooting along the barrel, and it starts to fill in these little tiny micropores or little trenches what you can't see with your naked eye. By doing this, after a certain amount of pellets, it actually makes all these holes filled with lead and the barrel really smooth, so it aids accuracy. And that's the reason why we re-lead a barrel once we've pulled it through and cleaned it. So, without further ado then, I'm going to get straight to the action and let's see if we can zero this rifle and then do some nice vermin shooting at a later date. Right, to gain good accuracy when you're zeroing your rifle or shooting it at any time off a bench, there's a few things I like to do. Firstly, I like to make sure that the actual rifle itself, when it's in my shoulder, is at the right height and I'm not bending too far forward or leaning too far back. In this case, I've got a chair with a sandbag on and a piece of real soft rug on top, which I rest my hand on. And I find that just makes it just about the perfect height for me to actually see through the scope, like so. I also like to have something behind my back to rest on, and this is the wall, so I'm sort of like resting on the wall and resting the rifle on my hand. No other part of the rifle is to touch the actual rug or the sandbag itself. It's actually rested on my hand at all time, and it's always the same for whichever style of shot, either standing, sitting, kneeling, prone, it's always resting on my hand, like so. And I find this gives me the best chance of having a nice, or shooting a nice group when I'm nice and comfortable. Also remember, when you're actually taking the shot, or before you take the shot, think the marksmanship principles through your head. Make sure that the weapon is pointing naturally at the target, and make sure you know that when you shoot you've got the right eye relief through the scope, so you're seeing a full picture. Make sure your follow through is correct, so you're not jerking at the trigger and you're not moving your head from the scope before you actually hear the pellet impact on the target. All these things help massively when you're shooting accurate groups. So you can see the target is at 25 metres, or if you like working in Imperial, 27.3 yards. So as I normally do when I'm in this indoor range, I'm going to shoot one 2.2 caliber pellet in the centre of the card, like so, which will now become my point of aim. I'm going to shoot a further 5 shots at that same pellet mark, and see where the group centre falls, and if need be, adjust the turrets on the scope to get a fine zero. And this is something I like to do prior to doing any vermin control, because it gives me confidence that the rifle and the scope are aligned correctly. Three, I think that was down to me, pulling the shot, 3. 4 back in the same hole. 5 in the same hole. Because I think I pulled that shot was falling above the group, or landed above the group I should say, I'm going to try and put another one in, make that a small 1-hole group. Like so. Just goes to show the slightest bit of mistake on your follow through and your pellet's probably landed there maybe 3/4 of a centimetre away. But as you saw, there was one shot actually as a marker, and then I did do 5 shots just about in the same hole. We'll zoom out and then we're going to have a look at the size of the group. Well, this is a target now, laid down on the floor, and as you can see here, I've marked with a pencil. This is the pulled shot, and that's what happens when you don't apply the right follow through and use the correct marksmanship principles, especially with a spring piston rifle. The rifle will punish you, and in this case it did. Here though, you saw there was one marking shot, and then I did actually in the end fire another 5 shots on top, so there's 6 shots there. If I put the 5p piece over it, it buries it absolutely easy. And if you look now, it's probably about half the size or half the diameter of a 5p piece, that group. So 6 shots in 2.2, producing something I would actually be happy with a 2.2 caliber or even a 177 caliber PCP at 27.3 yards. And this is the sort of accuracy I'm starting to get on a regular basis now, after practicing more and more with this Sandalfield Sports tuned rifle. And this is what sort of accuracy you can expect from Tony's work. He's a master gunsmith, and it's second to none what he does to these rifles. Now, even this rifle out the box, untuned, is still a very good rifle, and it would still produce 3/4 of an inch or even 1/2 inch groups at this range straight out of the box. Granted, you wouldn't have the smoothness you've got from my rifle, or the reduction in recoil like I have on my rifle because it's had the stage 2 tune, but it's still a really nice rifle. And I do suggest anyone who's thinking of getting a spring piston rifle, have a look at the 97 KT, because it's really, really nice. And as you can see, tuned, it produces groups what a top end PCP would produce, so I'm really happy with that. When you're loading any air rifle, a spring pistol one, be it a brake barrel under lever or side lever, make sure when you actually cock the rifle you keep your hand on the cocking aid. This is to stop obviously fingers getting chopped or even cut really badly. if the weapon malfunctions. Just too much of a temptation not to shoot. Right, while me and David was at Sandwell Field Sports at the weekend, we got talking to Tony about the correct way to actually carry a rifle what's got a sling fitted like this one here. Now Tony, once he'd fitted the sling for me, he told me to try it on my shoulder, and due to my past experience shooting HFT, where whenever you're walking from peg to peg or around the actual course, they tell you to walk with the rifle with the muzzle facing down. Now, due to this fact, I put the rifle on my shoulder like this. Now this sling is correctly fitted and it's the right length to my body, but a point to note is now the muzzle, if I've got it like this, is facing forward. Now if there's somebody in front of you, your colleague, walking with you towards the next peg, or someone's walking towards you and this rifle was loaded, and I must bring out a point now, it must never be loaded either at a competition or when you're just shooting it on your own. Due to safety reasons, it should always be unloaded, but if it was and it was to discharge, that angle there is potentially going to shoot someone in the back of the leg if they're walking away from you or towards you in the front of the leg. Like-minded, if you're a big bloke, and Tony Wall is a big tall guy and is quite broad, because due to him being tall, if he was to walk now, as you can see, there's a possibility that that rifle could discharge and actually shoot him as his leg moves forward in the back of the calf muscle. So he says it's not the correct way, what he believes, to carry a rifle on a sling. Now the correct way, once the sling's fitted correctly, is like so. So you can see now the muzzle is facing straight in the air. Now if that rifle was to discharge, it's not going to shoot anybody in the back of the leg or the front of the leg. Yes, it is going to go up in the air, and yes, we can't guarantee where it's going to land, but it's going to land with a lot more energy than it would if it shot someone in the back of the leg from 1 metre or 2 metres away. So this is the way I'm going to, from now on, carry my rifle with the sling on. And it's the way I would say to you, if you've got a sling fitted, please carry your rifle like this for the reasons just stated. Now obviously if you're on an HFT course and the safety rules at the start state that you're to carry it muzzle down, even with a sling on, then you've got to do it. But just try and be a little bit more careful how you actually carry it, and maybe it might be a case of actually holding the sling and keeping the rifle in this position here, so it can only shoot actually in the ground. But ideally, like I said, now carry it with the muzzle up. It's just a little point, but it's a valid point, and I'd like to thank Tony for actually bringing this point out. We passed it on to you, and hopefully it will save somebody in the future getting shot either in the back of the leg or in the front of the leg. Right, before I actually finish for today and go home and wait for some nicer weather before filming some vermin shooting to actually edit into the clip, I would like to congratulate a friend of mine called Adrian Waugh and his wife Mandy Waugh, and these are from A&M Custom Gunsmiths in the East Midlands. For those of you who've watched and followed me on my other channels in Arun, you'd have seen me using and testing one of their silencers called the Twink Mark II. They also make the X3 silencer, and the latest version is called the Marksman silencer, after a friend of mine off the Hunting Life forum called Marksman. Now Marksman himself sent me a text this morning to my phone, and I'd like to read it out to you. It's great news. It says, "Si, I thought you might want to know that A&M Custom Gunsmiths have just been commissioned by Daystate to manufacture and supply their excellent Marksman silencers for use on their rifles, including the .303 Daystate Wolverine." So that's fantastic news, Adi and Mandy, congratulations. I knew it wouldn't be long before somebody actually saw and cottoned on to how good your new silencer is and be snapping you up to actually produce them for them. So, great news. And if anyone is looking for an absolute fantastic silencer, please give A&M Custom Gunsmiths a phone. They're actually on the internet, you can actually search, and I will put their number at the end of this clip so you can actually dial it straight from the from the actual clip if you want onto your mobile.
As you saw, that rabbit just trying to hide in that grass. HW97, lovely clean kill. Number 2 for the 97 KT. See, there's no problem whatsoever shooting with a spring piston rifle with this night sight. It's absolutely phenomenal. And that's just nerves there on that rabbit. Right, I said I was going to wait for a little bit better weather before I went and did some vermin control with the 97 KT, and today I've got it. And as you saw, I've only been out probably an hour, and there you go, the results. 2 nice plump bunnies, yet again using the night sight NS200, which is proving to be an absolute godsend. It's an absolute fantastic bit of kit. And them rabbits were shot just as well with this 97 KT as if they would have been using a PCP. So this night sight is working really well, not only on my PCP but also fantastically on this 97 KT. Like I say, the proof's there and you saw the shooting. So I've gone on enough now. This episode's probably going to be around about 20 minutes in length at the end, so I'm going to leave it at this amount of 2 rabbits. There's loads more footage going to be coming up. I'm away on Friday again with another friend shooting on the golf course, and this time we're hoping to be filming using an HD camera and night shot straight off the screen this time, so all the shots will be really clear and you'll see actually how good and how far this system can actually see. It's I think what we're doing using the mini DVR is not giving it the full justice to how good it actually is, and I want people to see just how good this screen is and how far this system can see, because it's impressed me and it's impressed Davey, and anyone who's used it when they've been out with me has also been impressed. So without further ado, we're going to finish there from me and Davey. Thanks for watching, stay safe. If you've liked this edition, it's something different with a bit of safety and a bit of target shooting in, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.